Hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hello, audience. Before we get started here, I just have a quick question. Who likes to travel? Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, but who likes roaming fees? No, we don't like roaming fees. Boo to roaming fees. And that's why you should try Saily. Listen, it's an eSIM. You download it once or you go to the website and boom, done. 160 countries, 8 regions around the world. You'll never have to worry about roaming fees again, and you get really affordable plans, which I think is pretty great.
It is pretty great. That's why you think that.
Yeah, it's also backed by Nord Security, so if you're worried about somebody hacking your data, don't.
And I heard that every single person here is going to download the app immediately.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, lucky you guys, we get a promo code for you, so you get a little bit of a discount. Don't worry, it's on the house, okay? So 15% off Saily daily data plans. Use the code DANGLE. Who's that?
Me.
Yeah.
Woo.
Dangle at checkout.
How do we feel about Steve Dangle?
How do we feel about 15% off? Yeah, that's great too. Download the Saily app or go to saily.com/dangle and we'll start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Steve Dangle Podcast is live in the tank. Woo! Love this. Am I correct in saying this is the first time we've ever actually done a show in an NHL arena?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking
No, we did one 2 weeks ago.
no, in an NHL arena?
This is
Scotiabank
Oh,
Arena.
yeah.
in the bowl.
Second time.
In the
2
bowl.
weeks ago.
But in the bowl.
In the bowl.
They put us in like a black back closet or
I
something
was
like
very
that.
appreciative of doing that
I
there.
was- I was too,
I
but
don't
it
know why
wasn't-
we got to diss it.
Yeah, but we're here now, and that's Shelbyville. And I only like Springfield. Yay.
Yes.
We are sitting right now, if you're watching at home, we're sitting where Anthony Stollers had to sit last night during the game.
Was it right here?
It was like he sits right over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I think is
yeah.
hilarious. You guys bring, it's like, oh, come be our guest. Your goalie can't sit with you, though. Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I was like, and I was looking over at the bench. I'm like, they could add more space. They could take like a seat out and add more space.
No.
But why do that? Why do that?
Oh, no, Adam, criticize the SAP.
No, I was saying, why do that?
That's what you should start the show with.
Make things easier on the visiting team for sure, bro.
What I was saying was like, it's kind of a flex. It's like you're gonna come here, you're gonna play, enjoy the palm trees, but you can't sit together.
No.
Right? It's kind of bullying. I like it.
He was just talking to people the whole game. I want to know about Anthony Stoller's crowd work. Like, does he have people pleasers? This didn't work in Philadelphia, but it might work today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Philly's another one of those arenas you have to do that in, right?
I'm not sure.
Carolina.
Carolina? Oh, we don't like Carolina.
No, we don't.
No, we don't like Carolina. Stole Brent Burns from us, right? Yeah.
No, I think everybody's happy about the Brent Burns.
Hey,
right?
hey,
Yeah.
Jesse.
I feel like you guys are missing a lot of stuff in the show.
Well, we were up late last night watching the Leafs lose.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
There you
it was
go.
tricky.
There you go.
Well,
I know what I'm doing.
the other thing I love about this spot, by the way, is that you get to watch the Leafs coaching staff walk out every single time.
Craig Berube came so close to eating it.
Well, so two of them, Craig Berube and Mark Savard, walked directly to the bench. And then the other two guys, Lane Lambert and Mike Van Ryan, looped around the boards. And I thought, Craig Berube's not really got a lot of, he's an older man. Like, you got to be careful with your personal safety. And then I remembered how he played as an NHL player. And he probably doesn't care.
There'd be a crack in the ice if his head hit it.
Yeah.
He'd get up completely unscathed.
Have you guys ever seen anyone fall? Has anyone fall? Yes?
Oh, you
I
guys
have.
seen that? Yeah.
I have.
Okay. Who?
Oh.
It was in Oshawa Generals, Mark
Oh,
Savard.
it's not here.
Mark Savard was getting his jersey retired in Oshawa.
Oh, no.
And his whole family was being walked out, and his mom completely wiped out. And so he starts his speech with, "I see you've all met my mother."
That's great. Who did you see fall, by the way?
NHL equipment staff.
Oh, NHL
equipment staff fell?
Well, they probably deserved it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No.
No, not at all. Now, listen, I want to say this. Tonight, we're going to be doing a live, a meet and greet like we did last night. Some of you, I'm seeing some familiar faces here.
Yeah.
We are doing a meet and greet at the Barracuda game, 200 levels, so 216, 217 performance deck from 6:30 to 7:15. So we're really looking forward to that. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. They're playing Abbotsford. But let's talk about the chaos that was the Toronto Maple Leafs losing. to the San Jose Sharks last night. Calder Brini and Will Smith in the shootout.
Brini, nice.
In the shootout, and I have to say, we got a great view of it. We were sitting right over there, so we got to see the heartbreak live and in person, which was spectacular.
It was good.
What were your takeaways from last night, guys? Because it's probably, I thought, one of the more exciting games of the year, probably for all the wrong reasons, but who cares? Vibes,
Them.
man. They care.
All of them care.
Yeah.
No, every game counts, right? All the points matter for the Leafs. So, like, the fact they only got one out of that, they got swept in the season series. If you go look at the Leafs shootout record, it's 1-2. The Sharks are the 2. They're the entire 2. The Leafs have sole possession of first in the Atlantic, but the Panthers have a game in hand. And tonight, Bruins guy in the stand is Marchand's first game as a Panther.
Wow.
So costly loss. Costly loss.
Yeah.
The Sharks don't have any bad skaters. Holy cow. They really skate you through the foundation of the building, which I'm sure is expensive for the Sharks to maintain. But the Leafs, if you have tired legs, the Sharks are a very not fun team to play.
Yeah.
Against.
Nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare.
In a season like the Sharks are having, where you're in last place and like you're rebuilding and all that, every small victory you get means something. And in the game last night, you obviously give up the lead late a couple times. You don't want to do that. But they were able to close it out and get the 2 points.
Right.
And I feel like earlier in the season, maybe they lose that game outright. The Leafs come back, they score 6, and then the Sharks lose 6-5 in regulation. But the fact that they were able to get the 2 points probably means a lot to those kids and this organization. Is like, hey, we closed it out. Even though we usually blow it, we did that this time. That's a small victory, which is a big victory in the grand scheme of things.
I couldn't agree more, and it seemed to be led by, hold for applause, Tyler Toffoli. Yeah! who was an animal, an absolute animal last night from
good.
the go. Like he was spectacular. Seems to have taken over an emotional leader perspective here. Like, you know, I know he's relatively new, but boy, and I know Logan Couture is the captain and he's not playing right now, but if there's a captain on the ice, it sure feels like Tyler Toffoli's at least one of them with Mario Ferraro.
You can't have one leader, right? You recently spoke to Serge Savard, and I got the opportunity to speak to him at the 2010 Olympics, and he talked about those Montreal Canadian teams and how they had like 14 captains, right? So you're going to need guys who have been here to step up. You're going to need guys like Tyler Toffoli, guys like Mario Ferraro, and Celebrini, Eklund, Smith, etc. They're all going to lead in their own way. But Toffoli's been there guy role is super important for a team like this.
It was kind of, I mean, it was, as a Leaf fan, I'm not gonna lie, it was painful to watch, but it was exciting because when he got that first goal, that pump, like, let's go. There was like a real, like, I want this bad.
Well, you know what my least favorite part of that goal was we were like right on camera. So we were sitting fourth row, right? People were tweeting us photos of us just looking very melancholy. Just like this. Not having it. Not having it.
Also mentioning our big fat heads too.
That too.
A couple of fat heads,
3
right?
fat heads.
And then of course, as the period goes on, you notice you guys brought up the skating. The Sharks skated the Leafs into the ground last night.
Well, we need to talk about your new crush.
Oh. Okay. Well, talk about him.
Colin Graff, baby.
Oh, baby.
Me talk about
I
him.
love him. Oh my God. I couldn't believe. So shorthanded goal like that was spectacular, but it wasn't just the goal. It's smart plays. His body's always in the right position. If there's a fight for the puck, he's on the right side of it, wherever he needs to be. It's little things, good habits. I was blown away by him.
Well, and it was clear to me that all his skill comes from his time developing with the Barracuda. Right? Right? Well, and I mean, like, how many contending teams are going to have a guy with that little experience killing penalties in a position to score a shorthanded goal?
Yep.
Right? There's a lot of guys who are going to be it's sink or swim. right? Not to make that analogy in the tank or anything.
Well, why not?
But yeah, why not? It is exactly the place
Little
to do
on the
it.
nose.
It's
Yeah.
a little on the snout.
On
What
the
is-
fin.
Do sharks have a nose or a snout?
I think it's a snout, wouldn't it be? It's a snout.
The
yeah,
Sharks
it's a
fans should
snout.
let us
It's
know.
a little on the front of the shark.
Yeah.
There you go.
Whatever
On the
it is.
pointy end.
Yeah, no, he incredible skater, confident shot, and it's what we've been saying about the Sharks since before we got here. He scores the goal. We're not feeling great about it, whatever. Then they show him on the bench on the Jumbotron, and he's like, there's a giddy, childlike energy to this team, and that'll get you through a lot of tough days and tough road trips.
It's and then of course the Leafs do score, and it's William Nylander. Oh, we're getting booze.
Oh,
We're
what?
getting booze. I suppose that's fair.
No.
It is that, weirdly enough, for Leaf fans, it's William Nylander's first back-to-back multi-goal game of his entire career.
No, yep. The first time he's ever had multi-goal games in back-to-back games, which
is what I said.
In a different way.
Yeah.
I said it better. Who said it better?
Big Adam Wild fan right here.
Thank you, brother.
Unreal.
Appreciate that.
But that stat, when I read it, it didn't seem real.
No, especially
How is that
8-9
possible?
years in.
Yeah. No, it didn't seem real.
And then, like we said, Colin Graff scored later in the period. And the thing is, okay, you go, okay, well, they're going to as a Leaf fan, they're going to the dressing room, and it's okay. They're down 2-1. Listen, they'll come out strong in the second period. And Alex Wenberg said, "No, you won't." Scores within 2 minutes of the start of the period.
Minute 39 in.
I love the round of applause. The people are like standing up and applauding.
They know they're going to have a bigger cheer in a few minutes.
Yeah. Matthews scores on a power play goal.
Boo. Yeah, a lot of boos. Oh, no, we got the one guy in the back.
We got a Matthews fan up there. And then William Eklund, who we had on the show earlier this week. Let's talk about this. Unassisted deflected shot is how the NHL calls it.
Oh, I thought it was very assisted.
What led to the deflected shot?
If you're a goaltender, everyone knows the rule.
Right.
Just hire me as a goalie coach if that's the only thing I tell you.
Yeah.
Just listen, and I think you'll be okay. Like, you're flexible. You know the position. You know where the net is.
Right.
All right, so stand in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you got the basics, if you're a goaltender,
That's crazy.
there's an if you're a goaltender, 10 the goal sign.
I love that. Well done.
the crowd.
Well done. Show the
Hey.
crowd. Stand up, show the crowd, guys. Yeah. That's awesome. That's so great.
Here, show me.
Here, we're gonna take a picture.
There you go.
There we go. I love that. Yeah, you know, it's
Drew put that in the podcast.
it was one of those things where if it felt like all Joseph Woll has to do is there's
Anything else?
two routes that would be the correct route. Throw it behind the net,
Yep.
right? Which is kind of dangerous, right? You could always throw it into your own net. We've seen that.
Yep.
Or you could just cover it up. But he took the third option. And it seemed like you give it right to Eklund, which is a bad idea. And I think what's interesting about last night from a Leafs perspective is that they seemed to make a lot of bad calls. There were sloppy passes. Joseph Woll didn't seem right. It seemed like there was something a little bit off.
And the Leafs have an additional goaltender at practice in LA today, which is not typical on the road and has this Leaf fan rather nervous. Not to why.
What is it, Jess?
I have a hard time understanding what Joseph Woll was going for because Eklund was right in front of him.
Yeah, full
Like
court
they,
press.
they were
There's
looking
so
at each
much-
other in the eye.
Jesse's got the screenshot up, and now I'm more mad.
Right?
Like,
You watch it back and slowly you lose understanding about what he was going for.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know, brain farts
espionage.
like that. Yeah.
Like, that's
brain farts like that are unacceptable in the playoffs. Like, okay, get this out during the regular season against the Sharks, but in the playoffs, you can't be doing
Well, and I want to give full credit to Eklund for checking that much when it looked like the puck was just going to go by him. But that was part of the thing about these Sharks is they skate. The fact that he's in position for that, that he hasn't peeled off to go for a change or something else, I think says something.
Well, and veteran Chris Tanev has his stick like, well, it's coming over here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've done this a few hundred times. I'm sure it'll, and now it's in the back of your net. No, Eklund, I think the reason he got that goal is because he was on our show.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the interview, by the way? How great is that guy? He's awesome, right?
Yeah.
What a
yeah,
beauty.
FIFA.
Yeah.
Now, who thinks they've played him in Fortnite at some point? Yeah, you think you've got
Oh, we
head-to-head?
got a hand.
Yeah, you definitely have? Was he
Definitely.
any good? Yeah?
Yeah, he's good.
All right, that's kind of sick. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they must have like hidden names or something like that. But that is, I'd love to see what they're like in FIFA too. They should
You're
be
playing
doing
him
that.
the day before an important game, and you just beat the hell out of him, hope to make him mad. He gets a hat trick, rile him up, and then you can be like, I did that.
Before the end of the second period, don't boo this one because he really needed it. Scott Lawton scored for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
There you go.
And he's had a rough go since
Okay.
coming here. And he's a glue guy, and he's one of the guys that, and we'll talk about this later, John Tortorella said, that was a real big miss from the dressing room as soon as he was traded.
Is that the only other thing John Tortorella
Yeah,
said
what
this
else
week,
did
or-
Tort say?
He said some other things. He said
Yeah.
some other things, but
Did he say, I don't want a job anymore?
he did say
He
that.
did say
No.
Really?
I'm not interested in a job anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I guess with Lawton scoring, and Jesse just randomly happened to be recording it, and it happened just over here. And
Yeah, the
so
Lawton
we
goal.
got a really great view of Scott Lawton's first goal as a Leaf. Nice shot. It goes in. I don't really care about breaking down the play. I want to know emotionally, what does that mean for a guy who's coming back to play for his hometown team, who has been frustrated and not really found his
No.
spot?
That's not what's important here.
Oh.
Jesse, what do you think?
Why?
You think he was looking at us?
No, I don't.
Yes, you did. You said it multiple times.
Adam said that.
I said
Adam
it.
Oh, you
that.
said it?
But that
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
happened yet.
Well, I confuse you
That
two all
hadn't
the
happened
time.
yet. That's coming next.
No, that happened.
It happened later.
It happened later?
It happened later.
I'm
Yeah.
misremembering?
You're misremembering. Yeah,
All right.
I'll tell you what happened. No, it gets a story for like 2 minutes from now.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about the emotional thing for Lawton.
He badly needed it. He's been with the Flyers organization his whole career. I know he's been through a lot personally this year. And every team who has a fan base that is maybe cranky about not winning the cup since 2 years before the moon landing needs someone to be mad at some of the time.
There's no sympathy in this crowd. I just want
I
you
get
to know
it.
that.
Yeah.
I get
They
it.
don't have one at all.
The Leafs still have a longer drought than the Sharks, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our cups are weird.
Our cup,
They're 16.
they're so old, the photos look AI generated.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there are more teams in your division than there were in the entire NHL the last time the Leafs won. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and
We're
thing-
in the same boat, is all we're trying to say.
Also, you
So
guys
we're
have
friends
had,
here.
You guys have had a third round victory. We never have
No.
in the
Yeah.
modern era. It's never the Leafs have
This
never
this
been.
building had a Stanley Cup final game.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, what's that like?
the building the Leafs play in hasn't.
Who was there, by the way? Who was at the Stanley Cup at some point?
quite a few.
Pretty special, huh? We saw one Stanley Cup game in Nashville the year before the Sharks made it. I think.
I've seen two Stanley Cup
Year
final
after, year
games.
after.
Two Stanley Cup final games. Neither were in the place where I live. I had to take a flight,
Yeah.
and I hope to. Anyway, Scott Lawton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Lawton goal.
So okay.
He's been through a lot, and the fan base, the claws have been out
Yes.
a little bit. The daggers have been out for him, and it's not even like he's played particularly poorly. I mean, the team gave up a lot for him. So it was a big goal for him to get, and his line mates helped him out by essentially not playing for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But on Lawton's goal, like he gets it because he makes a play down on the goal line.
Yep.
And then he passes the puck, and then he's at the blue line for a slap shot. That's the hard work that Philly kept talking about that they miss, and that's what Toronto thought that they were getting. And in his first goal, that all of that's displayed. So you hope that he's put in more positions where he can do that and execute.
Haven't seen a ton of blue line clap bomb goals from forwards that weren't scored by Matthews or Willie.
Yeah.
Right.
A forward who was also just at the goal line.
Just there. No.
Seconds ago. It was a great play.
Great play.
Yeah.
Yep. And right after that, Max Domi gets into it.
Eh,
Yeah, well, you can boo him.
Here, what do the Sharks fans think of that?
You should be cheering.
Do they know they're wrong?
Yeah. I don't think they know they're wrong yet. Why don't you tell them?
He went to the box for like no good reason, and then I'm pretty sure that led to, was that the power play goal against from Toffoli?
Yes, at the beginning of the.
Yeah. Oh, Oh yeah.
Oh,
wait.
you like that? Yeah.
Oh no, this was good.
And also the misconduct, right? It was a 10-minute misconduct. that
10-minute misconduct
turned
and then
into forever.
I guess there basically wasn't a whistle in the back half of the third period. That dude saunters out of the box like
There was a minute 10 remaining, but by the time Max Domi got back out again. And this is where, when you guys are booing it, it's like, I get that you're booing the player, but you should be cheering the play. Because, we were talking, actually, we ran into, can we say this? Can we run into, well, I guess maybe not.
Sure, no, go for it.
Yeah, okay, we ran into Jamal Mayers outside.
oh yes.
Yeah. And
we ran into a few people.
And he was great because we said, what would you do in that situation? And he said, what you do is you back up and let him come to you, or sort of try to laugh it off.
well, and try
Because he
to
got it. There was a bit of a cheap shot.
try to embarrass him in front of the home crowd. Like, look, you won't go me,
Yeah.
right?
But instead, the refs got in there, and Max said, I'm gonna,
But like very half measured.
Yes.
I thought. Like, if you're gonna send a statement, send it in all caps, and he just sort of gave him a paw. I disapprove of that sort of thing, man. And he ended up sitting for like 20 minutes as a result of an
Which
NHL.
is great
There
for
you go.
Now they're cheering.
Yeah.
There
Now
you
they're
go.
But that Domi stuff is the same stuff that Kadri would do. It's the same stuff that Bunting would do, that the refs aren't giving them any leeway, and it's going to get the Leafs in trouble.
Yeah.
Because, like, the refs don't give the Leafs breaks. And if Domi's going to completely disrespect the ref where he's trying to hold them back and tell him, hey, you can't get into this fight right now, and Domi's like, no, I'm going to punch him in the face. I'm going to punch Zach in the face. Like, it's not going to go well for the Leafs.
No Sharks fan is going to want to hear this part. But there was a time early in the game where the Leafs were up 3-0 in the power play advantage, and then the first penalty the Leafs took, Adam's like, really? And I go, I've been saying for 5 or 10 minutes it's 3-0
Penalties.
and boy, did they even that out. Attaboy, Max.
So in between all that, they go, you have the second intermission. Leafs come back out, and this is where the Lawton story comes in, okay? Now, you have to believe me when I tell you this,
You do not.
which is a great way to start a story when you're trying to convince somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Lawton was like, we made eye contact.
You and Lawton.
Yes.
Do you think he was tapping the glass?
Well, so he comes out to skate, right? Before this thing, and he taps the glass, and it's that pane over there just above the Coca-Cola sign. Okay? And he looks, he taps, and then he skates around again, and he taps it again and looks right in our direction.
Can I ask
And
you
I'm
two
wondering,
questions?
Okay.
Does Scott Lawton know you?
Maybe he does. And this is what's been carrying me for the last 24 hours. My whole confidence is based on this. I want you to know that. I was like, maybe he watches LFR.
No.
I hope he doesn't.
No,
Sincerely.
you, Adam.
Well,
he
or
looked
maybe watches
you at
us-
the face.
But we were all there, so it could have been like me or Steve or you. Like we're not that far away.
You made eye contact
because
with him.
I was looking back at him and you guys weren't.
So this is exactly.
So that I was the only one that got it.
This is the way the conversation went. Yeah, I was like tweeting or something.
same.
We were like, Adam, you're stupid. And then the next time there was a Leafs zone draw and Lawton's out there, I swear to God, he looked me dead in the eyes.
Yeah, maybe because you were creeping him out.
There's like
you guys-
15,000
You guys
people here.
you spent
What do you
all
mean we're
game.
creeping
Yeah,
him
but
out?
you're right at the glass. You spent all game trying to make eye contact.
No,
with
but
Scott.
then he also mouthed, hello, Steven. He said it to me, hello, Steven.
I think he's like, who are these creepy dudes in the audience trying to make eye
I
contact
felt
with
like
me?
we were perfectly normal. All right? And we're having a perfectly normal discussion. Don't mention it, please, to anyone else. This is totally normal. Now, Toffoli scores on the Max. So Robertson was.
He took another bad one.
Yeah, so Robertson was serving the Max Domi penalty, comes out, trips Toffoli, I think, and then goes right back to the box. And then Toffoli scores about 9 seconds onto that power play. 3:02.
Tafovechkin?
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
That's what he looked like. That was a very
So
good one.
bad.
Did anybody like
Boo
that?
You can boo that.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
some people like
Please let me know what you thought of that.
Some boo.
Please let me know what you thought of that.
I wanted louder boos.
Now, if we had a highlight in this game, it was the last minute. The first 59 were
who?
Do we all agree?
the first 59 were really frustrating, but that last minute, that was cool.
Yeah.
The Leafs go in, down 2 goals, pull the goalie, and I'm just going to give it you. I don't expect you guys to know this. They've been awful at 6-on-5 this year.
Yes.
Awful.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah.
We're playing defense at 6-on-5, so it balances.
So it balances out. Okay, well, that's great. So John Tavares scores at 19:01, And at 1946, so that's 14 seconds left. I hope my math is right. William Nylander puts one home, and he gets his second goal of the game. He is second in league scoring. He has 7 goals behind the injured Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
So the
You guys
Rocket
aren't listening
Richard
to
is
me.
still
I
up
think
for
you can
grabs.
catch him.
Well, who would you? Okay, let me ask the Sharks fans. Who do you want to win the Rocket Richard? Is it an Edmonton Oiler? Yeah, yuck, right?
This guy just threw
a
up.
Toronto Maple Leaf.
No.
yeah,
It's
no.
crazy. They hate both.
Yeah.
They're not
No,
like,
they don't
oh yeah,
care.
we have
Yeah.
an East team and a West team. They're like, no, down with that sort of thing. Go Sharks. The future is teal.
That's right. Now, obviously, we get into overtime. Really exciting. Back and forth. You guys love the overtime, right? It was just awesome. Just
Yeah,
really,
it was great.
really, both teams put on a good show. And I love every time the Leafs even dared to stop and catch their breath or look and try to make a play. You guys are like, boo. Stop ragging it. Boo.
Let's go! Oh no! That's the ideal overtime when you feel
And-
complete euphoria and dread.
Austin did put one off the post.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Real close. But the post is not a goal. And so it goes to shootout. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is bad. Because the one thing about this generation of young hockey players is they all grew up watching highlights on YouTube.
Oh, dude,
Avo Barber.
Yes.
All them, yeah.
it's the grumpy, underachieving Leafs against a bunch of iPad kids, and the iPad kids killed them.
Yeah.
It was first off that Will Smith goal. Oh baby, how crazy was that? Wow.
I thought
I'm like, oh, he overskated it, and he somehow snuck it in.
Wool had that for sure. No, there was about this much net left to tuck that into, and he did it perfectly.
He did
It's
it.
perfect.
Now William Nylander responds. That's
Yep.
great. That's great. We like that. No, nobody's gonna cheer that. Okay, I'm not even gonna ask.
Get to the good part.
Yeah. And then you hear the announcer say, I didn't even hear what he said leading up to it. All he said was Macklin Celebrini. It was an explosion of noise. And I thought in that moment, like, I don't know what as an athlete you feel, but every eye in the building, you knew it was on him. And he's like, and you knew it didn't faze him. He's like, I'm just going to go do it.
I'll tell you what I thought. This kid might score. And then he did. And it was pretty good.
And then the Leafs, Marner and Matthews, just not great
Nope.
shootout plays. And
Well-
it's over.
Matthews, I think, got a shot off.
Yeah.
Marner sort of booted it. Actually, right here. Right here into this corner, I think. Or was it the other end?
corner. The other guy, yeah.
Pretend it was here. It was right here.
So from a visiting perspective, like people who have never been to your building before, and by the way, you guys have been so great and gracious and amazing, noticed how incredible the crowd is. It is loud all the time. And that's something that in Toronto is a real problem. I'm sure you guys know. And I've alluded to that. The amount of confidence the Sharks carry is really interesting. And Jesse, you talked about that. Kind of one of those games where it's another brick in the wall of we're coming in the NHL, better watch out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that stems from how much fun you guys are having, because when a power play happens for your team and the guy goes to the box,
I love that.
and you guys do that shark crunch thing, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Why don't we have anything like
Bobby
that?
McMahon's sitting in the box
and he's
the
getting
mouth is
eaten by
eating
your
him.
hands.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
And this was something I noticed last night, and I want to see if you guys know it. Hit somebody.
you guys have chance, like soccer. Like Nashville, I know has that too.
Tampa
but
has
it's,
them too.
It's rare in NHL rinks, and you guys just have such a fun atmosphere. And the players, like, they have to feed off of that. You know, young guys like Celebrini who can't even drink in Canada because he's 18, right? And aren't drinking
Can't
here.
even drink in Canada.
Forget drinking here.
Yeah, here's 21. Like, he's well away from
No,
that.
can't drink in Ontario. Alberta and Quebec don't care.
Yeah, Quebec's like you're 16. Let's get you a beer.
Here's a
but,
cigarette.
Like, young guys like that, you come here and you play, and it's such a great atmosphere, and they must feed off of that. In moments where it's a shootout, it's like, I'm going to show this crowd, I'm going to give them what they came for. I'm going to bring out my best dangles and win this game. Like, it's really cool what you guys got here.
The other thing I want to mention.
Round of applause for yourselves.
Yeah, that's a compliment. I think it's time to talk about, and I think this is something we've really noticed, the lack of former Leafs involved with the current Leafs and the wealth of former Sharks associated with the Sharks and the Barracuda. That is a really, really stark thing for us learning and being around Tech CU and being around here is, we've seen the first person we saw, other than Ryan, who, by the way, Ryan with the Barracudas put all this together. Ryan's the best, by the way, the best. And he's got his teal tie ready for the Barracuda tonight. The first thing we walk in through Tech CU, and there's Joe Thornton. There he is.
Smiling.
He's like, I'm ready. And he's got his skates on. He is 40 feet tall. And
terrifying.
Getting back and getting out on the ice, right?
Yeah, it's just eating a pterodactyl leg or something while he's like that. That's a prehistoric man.
Yes, absolutely.
He's huge.
Yeah, and he
had a shirt on.
Yeah.
I was surprised
He
too.
had all his hockey gear on.
Yeah, we were surprised and disappointed, to be honest.
Now, Joe Thornton and I have a special bond.
Oh?
That you're 6'5"?
You're both
Because there's one thing I've been saying for years, and Joe Thornton said something once that really backs up my point.
You have a great beard.
I once said, and continue to say, that 4 goals is not a hat trick.
Oh.
And everybody out here, we got the chickens.
Yeah.
Everybody out here knows what Joe Thornton said once when he was asked what he would do if he scored 4 goals.
You know what's great about that is I don't think he was asked. If I remember correctly, he was just walking by and said it.
And everybody's recanting the story because they all know it so well.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's a rooster trick and not a hat trick. So Joe Thornton and I, special bond. 4 goals is not a hat trick. It is a rooster trick.
Other people we have seen around: Scott Hannon, Mike Ricci. We know Patrick Marleau stops in. We got to talk to Dan Boyle, and we're going to release that as a special podcast next week. This, by the way, the Dan Boyle interview is crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
He was so good.
I was like, oh yeah, we'll get 10 minutes. It was like 45.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And he talks about everything. It's awesome.
Tortorella stories, Mike Keenan stories. Yeah, some really good stuff.
What's that?
Oh, we may or may not have mentioned the New York Reporter.
Yeah. And he was happy to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
He's got a great golf game.
Yes.
That.
Dan and another thing Boyle. Like every time we thought we were done with the topic. No, you know what? And another thing.
Yeah, and here's a great story that you haven't heard. And we're like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Now, in contrast, the Leafs have one guy that's actually currently employed by the team to train players. And before you say the name, can anyone name him? Nick Antropov.
Craig Berube doesn't count, the head coach,
Well,
former
Craig-
Leaf.
Craig Berube was a Leaf for 5 seconds.
And so was Mike Van Ryn.
And Mike Van Ryn was 10 or 15 seconds.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It counts.
Yeah.
Ish, but it's got nothing on. I've seen Evgeny Nabokov on the ice multiple times.
Yes.
Sure.
I've seen Ryan Clough in the stands multiple times.
We were told when we said Evgeny Nabokov, Jonathan Becker was like, "Oh, we don't call him that." I was like, "Oh, did I do something wrong?" He's like, "No, we just call him Nabs or Nabby."
Nabby.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, well." And this is the thing is that all of these people, like Berube came to the Leafs when the Leafs were bad. Right? Mike Van Ryn came to the Leafs when the Leafs were bad.
Yes.
Nick Antropov played some good years, but most of his years with the Leafs, they were bad.
He wore the number 80 for the Leafs because he had to give up number 11 for Owen Nolan.
Oh. How about that? These guys that are hanging around the Sharks have all been to the Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important. You talk about young players and you're talking about imparting good knowledge on how to become a success. And how many playoff rounds did you say Thornton and Marleau won together?
I can't remember the number together, but career, I think Thornton has won 16 and Marlowe's won 14.
Right.
The Leafs have won
in
one. One.
And this is the thing. It does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tavares, Matthews, Marner, Nylander have won 5 combined.
Yeah.
Tavares is 2 of them.
Why are we clapping that? Oh,
Stop
you guys are making
clapping.
fun of
Hey,
us.
wait, whoa, hey.
Don't clap at our misery.
No, they will
not
clap
nice.
at
I
our
don't
misery.
care for that sort of thing.
Now, the Leafs have an alumni association, but I have to say, it's not the same. And I think you guys have something really special cooking here behind the scenes, too. I want you to know that. It's not like this everywhere else. And I think it's pretty cool to have guys that are still young that could still relate to some of the younger players on this team. We saw Jumbo downstairs last night, too, with his kids just kind of walking in and having getting ready to watch the game.
We saw Mike Greer.
Yeah. and Ryan Clough.
Oh, you guys cheer your GM? That's cool.
Mike Greer's the guy who's going to bring Mitch Marner to San Jose, right?
Yeah.
That's
Sure
what's
feels
gonna
that
happen,
way.
right?
Sure feels that way.
So cheering for that in this building is technically tampering. So you've all
Come
been
after
fined
us, Gary.
$250,000. Yeah.
We'll start the collection plate.
Yeah.
But it is just, it's something that really stuck out to me. I do think that there's a really cool culture developing here, guys. You should be very proud of not just what's happening behind the scenes, but your contribution to it, because honestly, it's so fun to be here. It's just a fun environment. So,
And thank you, because I know most of you, I think, were there for the taping of the LFR last night. That was friggin' magical. That was one of the most fun videos I've ever shot. You guys are awesome.
now, earlier this week, the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Philadelphia Flyers and they scored 7 goals.
Oh, here,
What?
wait.
You want one more thing?
I want one more thing for
Okay.
last night's game.
Oh, okay. Give it to us.
So we walk into the hotel, and we're wearing our Sharks stuff. I got my Sharks jersey, and I went to my first Sharks game pin.
Yeah. Shout out Teal Town.
And there's this family in the lobby. They, have young and old and everything. And one of them just yells at us. I'm about to get in the elevator. He goes, "Go Shots!" He said it like that. And I didn't think anything of it other than that sounded Bostonian-ish. And there was an older woman, and she was sitting down, and she had a Lund jersey. Cam Lund, who just played his first NHL game last night. And I was like, well, that can't be a coincidence. So I go, do you guys have a family member who played their first NHL game? And instead of trying to be secretive, they all were like, yes. And we introduced ourselves and everything. And it was Cam Lund's family. And they were so proud. It was the cutest thing ever. I wish you all could have seen it. Yeah. As they should be.
Yeah. He played well last night, too.
He did. He did. He got hammered like right in our corner. I was like, hey, there's the ooh. But no, he had a good game.
Do you hope Leo's first game is with the San Jose Sharks?
Like with or against?
With.
Oh,
Do you hope
no. I got to go watch my son in California. Oh. I don't want warm weather and palm trees and the best Mexican food I've ever friggin' had. No. Oh. So I am.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, well, he's been fully indoctrinated for the Leafs, but
Yeah, but you don't get to pick where you get drafted.
no, you don't. And if the tide turns, it'll be because I'm bringing him home a plush. The tide.
Yeah, the tide.
I'm bringing him home a plush shark Zamboni.
Oh, yeah.
Taking him skating takes forever every time because we have to watch the Zamboni before and after. And is he tall enough to see over the boards himself? No, he is not. So I got to pick up this kid in full hockey equipment. And I don't know if you know how kids work. He's getting heavier as time goes. And the Zamboni, I'm like, can you step on the gas, man? Gas is on the right, I think. I've never driven one of these things. Holy cow. That kid loves a Zamboni.
So, switching subjects to something completely outside of the game last night. You guys probably know there was a notable stepping down of a Philadelphia head coach. It happened after a Leaf game. Well, at least the comment did. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to talk to your boss about something. Maybe you're a little bit frustrated at work. Have you ever said, "I'm just not interested"?
I don't think I like this job.
Yeah. And if you did, how'd it go? Right? Probably not great. And Tortorella basically said something to that effect. He said, "I'm just not interested." And that, I think, is the line that sunk him on Tuesday night. He could say, "I'm frustrated. The guys are frustrated. We got 9 games left. There's no hope at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to be in this position."
We just lost to the Leafs.
Yeah, just Who
even does that?
And they, not the Sharks, that's for sure.
Couldn't be you.
But
couldn't be you.
But usually when you're covering hockey, the most boring outcome is the likeliest, right? Which is, I thought when I said it on the show a couple days ago, well, I'm trying to figure it out from his perspective.
Adam, that's a lot of egg
He'll
on your
probably
face.
stick around. And boy, that aged poorly.
Yeah.
But
Way to go.
I thought it was really interesting last night when the Philadelphia Flyers absolutely rocked the Montreal Canadiens.
Which
Came out on
I cared
fire.
for.
Yeah.
I cared for. Lane Hudson, down with that.
Yeah.
Right? Down with that.
And what was interesting is they dressed defenseman Cam York, who's a big part of their team, but did not play him a single shift. And apparently there was what they call a verbal altercation, and I'm sure it was super calm and very quiet.
They got into a yelling match.
Yeah, between Cam York and John Tortorella. And I think it was interesting because they couldn't scratch Cam York to punish him. They had to dress him because they didn't have enough players.
You cannot
voluntarily
under the rules, voluntarily play shorthanded.
Yes.
Which I'm pretty sure the Leafs have for cap reasons, but like you
That's
can't.
That's a cap reason.
Oh, that's just. Oh, well, you have to play shorthanded because you're stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have to be intentionally stupid.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of volunteer.
If you have
understand.
enough healthy players to play, you can't just scratch one and play shorthanded.
So
is the rule.
He sat on the bench.
He sat on the bench.
And he sat on the bench.
Yeah.
And he sat on the bench.
Yeah.
He played as much during the third period as Max Domi did last night.
Yeah. No, Max skated.
He did, from the box to the bench.
Yeah. Cam didn't get that.
He got a shift in overtime.
Cam didn't even need to sharpen his skates after the game. Like, there was nothing. And
Pristine.
I have to. You guys have been to Philly, right? Yeah. Do you have a sense of people from Philadelphia? Like, what would you give me some words? So like a word book.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly love.
That's a good one.
Is it though?
Someone just goes terrible.
Terrible. Angry. And I just want you to imagine what it would be like to be a Philadelphia Flyer sitting there wearing that jersey, full stadium, and you're not playing, and everybody down the bench knows that. It's the first game with a new coach.
And your team is mopping them.
Yeah. And you're not a part of it.
Let's go, guys. Really, really, really glad you're doing this without me. He's like a top pair defenseman for them, or
Absolutely.
top four anyway.
Absolutely.
That's got to be a little embarrassing. I'm sure he's a good teammate, but that's got to be a little embarrassing.
Before the game, Daniel Briere and their new interim head coach, Brad Shaw, they kind of talked to the team. And according to Kevin Kurz at The Athletic, he pleaded with them. That's the word, pleaded with them to stick together. Think about the guy next to you. He might be up for a contract here, or he might be trying to save his job and finish the year in the NHL. And within 2 minutes, Matt Bay-Mitchkov scored a goal. And he came within a post of getting a hat trick. He had an empty net, put it off the post, didn't quite get the hat trick. It should have been more. But I do think...
The second best rookie forward in the NHL.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called crowd work.
Briere said this about Tortorella, and I wanted to know what you guys thought. Again, young team, totally different circumstances in Philadelphia. He said, I hope a few of these guys step up and take a bigger role without Tortorella's presence in the room. I think it might be a little easier. And not just the older guys. There's guys along the way that probably have earned the right to step up and talk a little and be a bit more vocal. I hope we start seeing that now. What do you think that says?
It says that John Tortorella is what we've said he is for like 15 years. He's a coach who comes in. You do get a bump. 3 or 4 years in, ironically, no one's interested.
Yeah. John Tortorella, his coaching style is making it about himself. He wants to be the lightning rod in the locker room and in the media, and eventually that wears thin amongst people. And I think eventually the players need to step up and have their own personalities. And I think that's what they're seeing there in Philly, in that, okay, we ran out the time with Torts. Let's give this back to the players and let them find their own way. Because there's so many young guys there that haven't had a place in the NHL yet. And with Torts there, it's hard to become an NHLer.
The Leafs rebuild, we can argue whether it's a good one or a bad one. But with Mike Babcock there, when he got there, the team was last. And we all knew what that was about. And he was the face of the team. And then they get all these kids, like first overall picks and everything. You can relate.
And former Shark and two former Sharks, Daniel Winnick and Roman Polak, who played.
Those are the where I thought you were going.
Those
with
are the guys you're talking about.
Hey, no, but they traded the. Listen, they were in the finals. Come on.
That's right.
Come on.
But they get all these exciting kids, and Mike Babcock is still the face of the team. And then the team gets a little older, and he's still the face of the team. And at some point, it does need to be the players.
Yeah.
And in Philly, it's just not.
Right. And so they've got this guy as the head coach. And I'm not sure how long this is going to last because there's a guy named Rick Tocchet who played parts of 11 seasons in Philadelphia, scored 769 nice points as a player. And he is Vancouver's head coach. What do we think about the Canucks?
I was going to say he's employed.
Yes, but his contract's expiring and there's been nothing. And it just kind of feels like it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I think this is soft tampering.
Me?
No.
Okay.
No.
They were tampering earlier for sure. Like if Marner signs here, you all owe
Marner
us a
to
big
San
draft
Jose.
Well,
pick. More tampering.
The Leafs did not tamper to get Brian Burke away from the Ducks. They simply laid out a red carpet in front of his house and led to the airport. And I think that's a little bit of what the Flyers are doing here.
Okay.
Yeah, they send a chauffeur to pick up anyone. It could be anyone.
Yeah. Anybody
Could
who
even
wanted...
be Brian Burke. Who knows?
Eddie Brian Burke.
Montreal, by the way, missed a pretty big opportunity. The West playoff race isn't that great this year. The East one's unbelievable. They could have pulled 3 points ahead of the New York Islanders and Rangers last night against Philly. And listen, losses happen, but you need to win that game. And when you look at where Montreal sits, the Red Wings, who are magically still in it, the Blue Jackets, who are in it, and 2 New York teams, 3 points spread between the 5 of them.
What the Islanders are doing is Herculean. Like, they shouldn't be able to do this. They got maybe the craziest haul of the deadline of First and Cal Ritchie. Cal Ritchie's going to be sick. Remember that name, and I'm sure you're happy that he's no longer.
Probably
with the
only have to
Avs.
see him twice a year.
Yeah. You're no longer going to have to see him with the Avs, and they still might make it. I never thought this was possible.
And then beyond that, Ottawa, like I said, are pulling away. They're 6 points up on Montreal, and that means they're probably going to be the first wild card position, which means they might play the Washington Capitals, which is going to be Canadian capital versus American capital. And I just think with the whole 51st state stuff, I think that's going to be real interesting. Don't you? That'll be fun, right? It's a cool little narrative.
That's you're being very Toronto media.
Yeah,
about
you
that.
gotta have it there.
That's all right.
But I
That's all
think
right.
you have that backwards, right? Because Washington's going to play the second wild
Oh, they'd be
card.
playing the second wild card.
Yeah,
It might be.
I don't think that's
it
correct.
might be Florida or it might be Toronto. But we keep hemorrhaging points, so I don't know.
I mean, Kachuk versus Kachuk is probably the better option there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Opening face-off of the series, they fight.
With the Canadians, like that Flyers win speaks a lot about the Flyers, about how much of a bump they got, because as you outlined there, the Canadians are fighting for that playoff spot, and the Flyers lost 6 in a row, and they managed to get up for that game against a team that's essentially playing playoff games right now. I think it speaks to how much Tortorella was sucking the life out of the locker room.
That's not a new coach bump either. That is a coach got fired bump, and there is a difference.
Yeah.
There's a very key difference there. Yeah, John's not here anymore. Let's all have a good time.
Yeah, and then now the Rangers are here on Saturday, and they have an
I
opportunity.
agree, Boo.
Yeah, we also agree.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
And they got an opportunity to hop over Montreal if they can beat the Sharks, but I don't know if they're going to beat the Sharks.
Not in the tank.
Do you guys think the Rangers stand a chance here? Yeah. No, I didn't think so either.
There was one emphatic yes.
Who said yes?
Seem to beat the Rangers.
Oh.
You can't seem to beat the Rangers.
We have a horrible record against the Rangers.
Well, you know what? You can't start a winning streak without one game, right? So
You know what? Some hockey players are powered by spite. Start Alexander Georgiev. Every now and then, I don't know if he's been here long enough for you guys to know this about him. Every now and then, he's like, I feel like making 50 saves tonight. Every now and then.
Or I'm going to allow 5 in the first minute.
Or that.
Yeah.
You can't say that here.
It's one or the other. We all know it.
This is a private conversation.
he was.
Is that a secret?
Yes.
People don't know that?
Yes.
That he could just blow up?
He was a leaf killer, by the way. Total leaf killer in New York, Georgiev. The other thing, and by the way, how do we feel about the Nashville Predators, everybody? Oh, yeah, I figured that. Now, they are, you might cheer for this, the latest team to be officially eliminated from the playoffs.
here.
And they spent all that money too.
One of us.
Dude, at the end of the season, are we doing that look back and the dissecting of what they did in free agency, how much of a failure this season was in Nashville?
Yeah,
'Cause that'll be an interesting
We're actually going to
conversation.
broadcast it live from the side of the SAP Center.
Okay.
So for everybody here, yeah, I think so. And the guy that stuck out to me was one of the guys they spent the most money on, Steven Stamkos. Steven Stamkos hasn't missed the playoffs since 2016, 2017. Wow. He's only missed it once in the last 11 seasons. And so I got to wonder what a guy like that's been thinking, because this is going to be super weird. He gets into the bit of a contract spat with the Lightning. Julien Brisebois says, yeah, we'll pay you $3 million and over 8 years or something, some bizarre contract offer. He goes, no, I'm going to go do my own thing, Dad. And he goes to Nashville. And everybody is expecting Nashville to be a strong team. They made the playoffs last year against all expectations. They were strong defensively. And to quote Barry Trotz, we never really came together. That's a quote from the the
So
Athletic
I kept
article.
making trades and trades and trades. And weirdly, most of the teams I made trades with got better.
Weird. Well, so interestingly, Pierre LeBrun talked to Barry Trotz earlier this week, and he said, I think expectations were quite high with us. We never really came together. So a little bit disappointing, a little bit, I think, is understating it. From my standpoint, I then went into a bit of a next year mold. I use this term, clean the porch, to set it up for next year with...
Is that a phrase anybody's ever
getting
heard?
a little bit younger. No.
Emphatic no.
Yeah. Is it a South thing? Is it a Southern thing? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Clean the
Isn't he
porch.
Canadian?
Yeah. But he's been in Nashville forever.
all right.
Yeah. I use the term clean the porch. Do you? Okay. He said here's what he said, and I wanted to know what you guys thought of this, and crowd too. We'll probably be a better team after this kind of disappointment.
It's hard to be worse than like second last. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to the Sphere? Well, thanks for Askarov in the crowd. Yeah. He said, we'll be a little more engaged to do better, and we'll stay with the plan. Now, I'm curious about what the plan is, but he says, our plan has always been to continue to go younger in the next couple of years. And what we did last year in terms of free agent signings was to keep us in the competitive mode. But this year, we took a step back because of our slow start, and we never fully recovered. Now, guys, before I get you to comment on it, they do have some assets. They got 3 firsts this year, 2 seconds, and 1 third in the draft. Next year, a first, 2 seconds, and a third. $18 million is all they get to spend this summer. I mean, compare and contrast that with the Sharks, who have $40 million.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Now, the one thing I'll say is they don't have anybody other than Andreas Englund expiring. So they got $18 million that they can just add, which is interesting. I don't know if that's a good thing because you're locked into this team and you can add to this team, or if it's a bad thing because you're locked into this team that's been really bad.
No. It's a good thing for all of us unless we cheer for the Preds, because it means Barry Trotz is going to be very active at the draft. Like, he's going to be making trades, and that dude is nuts. He is my favorite GM in the NHL. He's just, if you start a podcast and you're looking for things to talk about and you're just like, gosh, what a boring day. Sometimes the content fairy comes and leaves a video under your pillow for when you wake up. It works just like the Tooth Fairy, only it's for YouTube. And Barry Trotz, just imagine him with wings and a little wand. That's him. He's my favorite. You do wanna. He's my favorite GM.
Is he wearing a diaper? He's wearing a diaper, right?
Is the what? The Tooth Fairy doesn't wear a diaper.
you're right.
What is it with
Diaper.
Well, Cupid. I got Cupid in there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
Cupid and the Tooth Fairy are not the same.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Cupid is actually far more problematic.
Yeah.
We're canceling Cupid. We're done with him.
So
No more Cupid.
no more Cupid. That's right. Now listen,
Cupid out.
it's an interesting position that they've got themselves in because all the guys, like you said, that they've traded have done really well elsewhere. And you kind of ask yourself, okay, so like, what's the problem with us, man? We're the common denominator. Do you think that introspection is happening, or are they just going to keep that train rolling? And should Mike Greer call them this summer?
Absolutely. Please.
He should call them till there's blisters on his thumbs. 100%. Just text away with
because
him.
I'm sure people here hate the Askarov deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
brutal. Oh, down with that.
Oh, so mad.
Darn, we got this great
Yeah, 'cause
goalie.
You guys don't want to rip anyone off, do you?
No.
You would never want to do that.
And then he was signed to a really good cost control deal. Oh no.
Oh no! And he's looked great.
Man, you can feel the guilt in the room. It's just palatable. It's just hanging. Oh, we feel so bad.
Yeah.
Listen, it's very, very interesting. Now, the Blues that eliminated them are the complete opposite story. And I know that you guys probably aren't great Blues fans. Screw the Blues. Okay, fair enough. The Blues are 8-1-1 in their last 10, and that last night was their 8th straight win. Unbelievable. They are now 5 points up on the Vancouver Canucks for the final wild card, and that race is really cooling off. They're 2 points away from catching the Minnesota Wild for the first wild card spot. Their first round opponents, if they stay where they are, either the Winnipeg Jets or, and Jesse, I want to get your thoughts on that in a second, and they could maybe squeak past the Wild and play the Golden Knights. Wow, there's so many Knights fans here. So Jesse, let's start with the Blues lining up with the Jets potentially.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Blues' chances in that series?
It feels like 2019 in St. Louis. Like they have the similar vibes. Nobody likes that, but it's true. You fire the head coach, and since February 1st, or it's a little late.
Did you just say
January.
my ex liked the Blues?
Since late January, yeah, that's why she's your ex. Yeah. Since late January, the Blues have the most points in the NHL. No team has accumulated more points than the St. Louis Blues. And going into the playoffs, that's all you want to be. You want to be hot at this stretch. Who cares what they did from September through January? Now they're on top, and I think every team should be worried about them, especially the Winnipeg Jets, who consistently
What do they do,
underperform in the playoffs.
Why is that, Jesse?
Because maybe they have a fraud in net.
Are you guys booing that?
Jesse.
It couldn't be Connor.
Jesse.
Yes.
You're burying the lead.
Oh, am I?
Not only is it hella fraud watch, it's hella fraud versus Bennington again. What? That was good. Oh, we're in. Oh,
We're in America.
Oh. Sorry. No.
I think the narratives going into that series are going to be insane.
Yes.
So if we get that rematch, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm favoring the Blues just based on how they're playing and how they've come out of nowhere, really, because I think everybody thought they were down and out for this entire season, and one of Vancouver would hang on to that playoff spot, or even Calgary would hang on to that playoff spot, and they've come and they've taken it, and now I think they can really pass Minnesota because Minnesota hasn't had Kaprizov for forever, and that's their whole team, really, and if they're not getting like stellar goaltending, they're going to continue to drop down, so I think St. Louis might even go higher in the standings.
I think it's interesting the Bennington Hellebuck thing because they've kind of flipped countries in that series, right? It's kind of neat, right? It doesn't mean anything, but I just thought it was interesting.
It means everything.
Now
It means everything.
That's one of those.
yeah, the Golden Knights have won 4 straight. They're looking to keep the Los Angeles Kings at bay. What?
One person at the back cheered.
We got two
three.
Kings
Oh,
fans.
two,
We got
three.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd turned around.
Uh-oh.
God, I wish we got that on camera. That was unreal.
What are you doing here?
Did you come up from LA? Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it, even if nobody else does.
Just focus on us. It's okay. Eye contact. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine.
They sat in the right place behind
They
everyone.
sure did.
Yeah.
It can't hurt you. I do want to say, too, the Blues feel a little bit like, you mentioned 2019, the 2012 Kings.
Yep. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to get booed.
Yeah.
And then I did.
They were bad, and then they were good. And then they were, those guys are, they're going to make the playoffs. Good for them. 7th place. And I won't mention what happened next because it doesn't matter. Nothing. And then they were out in the first round. No one cares.
A lockout happened.
Lockout.
next.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point. It was
their
the
fault.
Kings' fault. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Now the Golden Knights. Boo. I want to say, producer Drew back home, who you can also boo, by the way. He's convinced.
No, we got some applause for producer Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there's some
yeah,
love for Drew. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of love.
I want to know, okay, LA, if they do catch him, because Drew's convinced that LA's going to catch them.
There's no way.
For the crowd, for a San Jose Shark fan, I got to know. Who would you rather win the division? Okay. Now, these choices are not great choices, but you can have the Golden Knights or you can have the Kings.
The King? We have a very emphatic
Kings.
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 Meteor comes down from the sky, knocks both teams out. Okay.
Yeah.
And only Thomas Hurdle leaves in time. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right.
Tomas, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Tomas de Potatoes.
Wow. Who brought this guy? Jeez, terrible.
The Sharks.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that one didn't get booed, did it? All right.
For as good as the Kings have been, the Golden Knights have won 4 in a row. They're still 5 points up, and there's only 10 games left. I think they should be good.
Sure feels good. Yeah.
I think they're good.
Yeah, well, the Kings are about to play the Leafs after a disappointing loss, which is a mixed bag. No one knows what to expect, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay, now here's a question. If the Leafs are playing the Kings tomorrow, if you're watching that game just out of for fun, right? Who are you cheering for? We went to San Jose and got a Go Leafs go chant.
Yeah.
How about that?
Let's go. Let's go.
That's
The
great.
Things you do for us.
Yeah. Now, we're going to flip it over to the press conference now, unless you guys have anything else that are burning desire to talk about. Now, the press conference is going to work a little bit different because we want you guys, if you have any questions for us, to ask them. And I'll need you to put up your hand.
Shout them all at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So we put up your hand so we can pick you, and then give us your name, and then we have to repeat it back into the microphone because people at home need to be able to hear. So, who's got a question? We got your hand was the first one up. And by the way, I do want to say, I know you're wearing a Sharks jersey today, but you were wearing an Austin Matthews jersey last night.
Lilligren. Lilligren.
Liljegren.
All right.
Liljegren.
Okay, name? CJ. Hi, CJ.
Way.
All right. What's the question, CJ?
So I had the honor of talking to former lead Ryan O'Reilly.
You spoke to Ryan O'Reilly.
I met him at a bar in Dangle, like 10 minutes from here.
You met him at a bar in Campbell.
Yeah.
Okay.
In San Jose. And so I was talking to him about, it was right after they beat the Sharks, like the Preds beat the Sharks.
It was after the Preds beat the Sharks.
8-0, something like that. And I talked to him, and it was his first time playing in Celebrini.
This is his first time playing in Celebrini. Okay.
After playing both of them in an NHL game, he would take Celebrini over Bedard if he was starting a franchise right now.
He said he would take Celebrini over Bedard
He said it's not even close.
if he was starting a franchise right now, and it's not even close.
So I'm bringing it up to you guys. If you're starting your GM starting right now, first overall draft pick, you got Celebrini over Bedard. Here you go. And don't let us
Don't play that.
No.
Yeah, no pressure. We just won't be able to leave.
I know.
Yes, that is true.
So I'm not playing to the crowd. Let's look at life before Macklin for a sec. Life before Macklin, it was bad. It was bad. Bedard in the WHL was stupid. Mm-hmm. He was unbelievable. From the day he arrived as a 15-year-old babe, fresh out of the manger with a right-handed stick in his hand, terrorizing guys who were a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and in some cases 5 years older than him. I thought the way this kid was flying out of major junior, he has a chance to rival some of the things that Connor McDavid has done. That's what I thought. Hasn't gone that way. And there's no joy. Like one thing, like some guys are powered by rage and that's good for them. Connor, McDavid rather. I realize they're both named Connor. In Canada, there's 3 names. And one of them is Connor. He does not thrive in the current mood in Chicago. And so he's gone down to me. Macklin, on the other hand, we had Cam Robinson from Elite Prospects
yep.
on our show before he was drafted. And he was saying this is the website's highest ranked college prospect ever. And I went, is Jack Eichel, did your website get invented after like he was drafted or what? He's like, no, we have him better than Eichel. And that was the moment I was like, okay, there's something we haven't, maybe there's a little Canadian bias there, out of sight, out of mind. I haven't watched a ton of Boston College games. They're not as easily accessible.
Boston University, by the way.
Boston University,
Just so-
sorry.
just
They get
for
very
everybody
upset about
in
that.
their head who's correcting him. Yes.
Yes.
BU.
Smith is from BC.
There you go. BC is a different one.
Got it. Right now, with it's not the crowd in front of me bias, it's recency bias.
Yes.
I take Macklin as well. Don't be surprised if Bedard overtakes him though. Like this, he's special. They're both very special. Bedard desperately needs help. Like Celebrini is surrounded by literally children he can have milk and cookies with. Literally. And he's having a great time. And Bedard's with like, I haven't looked at a lineup sheet yet where he's had 2 line mates with double-digit goals. Dude, it's been terrible. Yeah. This kid is alone. Now, what might happen is next year a new crop arrives and he just goes off. But until we actually see that happen, Macklin.
Jesse?
I'm not going to waver from Connor Bedard just because
he's unreal.
Of when they're both coming out. I think the projections on Bedard were a lot higher, and they still should be 143 points in the WHL in his final season in 57 games.
71 goals.
Is absurd. Like, Macklin had his great year at BU, but it's not that, it's not 143
Yeah,
points.
the thing about
Completely
Macklin,
different.
though, the thing about
completely
Macklin,
different hockey.
Guys, the thing about Macklin is he's doing it at the pro level. And
yeah, but they're not playing on the same team.
Yes.
Like, you didn't drop Bedard into San Jose, where I think he would have been a lot more successful.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing that out of these kids like Eklund and Smith and Celebrini, where they're thriving in this environment where it's like, hey, they might not be getting the W's, but they're getting the points and they're impressing in terms of their skill because they're allowed to play the way they should be able to play with teammates who complement their game. And Bedard's in such a wasteland, as you said.
He is a career minus 82 in 140 games.
It's hard to evaluate him, so I think for both of them, you have to go back to when they were equal, which is before their pro career, because since Bedard has been a pro, he's been surrounded by nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's a little unfair.
Did you see the year he had 143 points? How many points he had in the playoffs?
It says
he had 20.
20 points.
In 7 games.
In one series, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you guys. I'm going Macklin. And it's not just because the
I
crowd's
said
there.
Macklin.
Steve also said
I'm going Macklin more, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm saying Macklin because I think hockey, it's, like when you talk about basketball, or you talk about the quarterback position at the NFL or the NCAA or whatever, there's something very singular about it, right? Like a great player. We saw it in Toronto when Kawhi arrived. It was like, oh, okay, this is a different team now. Completely.
How do we feel about Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
I think
we won't mention that finals, but the point I'm trying to make is sometimes your supporting cast, and we have yet to see Chicago's guys come up, really. Like a lot of them are not in the NHL, but I'm going with right now. And right now, having talked to Eklund the other day, having seen the way the guys play, so much of this game is really team. And I do really like the Sharks' direction a lot better. It wasn't the question?
Yeah. You got to start a franchise from scratch.
Yeah. Celebrini.
All right.
That's me. All right, now, we're going to do the next question differently because it was a bit of a longer question. And instead, I'm going to have you walk forward.
Yeah.
And then I'll have you talk into the microphone. How's that?
Yeah.
That's a better job.
I think that's a great idea.
Better idea. Okay, somebody put their
Instead
hand-
of me cutting you off,
we'll go somebody at the back.
at intervals.
No, I can gut up, Jess. Don't worry about it. Are you doing it?
No, I'm grabbing another.
Oh, you're grabbing another
Oh, he's grabbing another mic.
that's
Jesse.
smart.
All right,
we'll go close here. We're going to go with you, sir. because Jesse's going to hook up that microphone while we're doing this, and I'm going to try not to get any feedback. Please state your name and your question.
My name is Paul.
Hello, Paul.
So with John Tortorella getting fired, do you guys, A, think he'll be able to get a job again in the NHL? And if you do, what team will hire him?
So
Good question.
the first team that came to mind, and I've always wondered why they've never been able to make this marriage happen. He's from Boston. Now, here's the problem. The Bruins, I wouldn't have said this a couple months ago, but the Bruins are cosplaying as the Flyers for some reason. They have a goalie, so different. Pasternak's better than anyone the Flyers have. McAvoy, I think, is going to be the next captain of that team, and the Flyers don't really. I don't think the Flyers quite have that. Sanheim's very good, but I don't think it's ever going to work out for Torts going to Boston. The NHL employs a rotating cast of like 50 guys. So I think he's going to land on his feet. He's going to get another job if he wants it. But here's what's different about getting axed this time. Tortorella not working out in Vancouver and trying to literally fight a guy surprised no one. To wrap up my answer, you hire John Tortorella knowing that he's got a fire, but his tenure in Philadelphia ended with water. He quit with his words in a way. He said he wasn't interested. That might make him radioactive. It might be over.
I mean,
For his career?
Might be.
listen. I'm not going to mention it here. I don't want to bring the vibe down. But there are people that
No,
have
bring
been
it down.
extremely radioactive.
We've been too happy.
for real reasons, and they've been rehired, and the other one's about to be hired. I'm sorry. I think John Tortorella is going to be just fine. Somebody will pick him up, but he can't be with a young team. I think it's got to be a team that should be doing it, that's underperforming mid-season, and he's a replacement. I think you're going to see him. He'll get hired like next January, February.
Someone
Well,
over here said Oilers.
You know who's going to need it? You know who's going to
Fire
need
Chris
it?
Knobloch for Tortorella?
You know who's going to need a new coach probably is Vancouver. And I think that ship sailed. I don't think he's going back.
I like that. All right. Who would like to come down? I'm going to say at the back with the teal hat on. Yes, sir. Don't worry. We'll still get to all the questions.
And this
stuff.
is our first run with the mic, so let's be careful.
And let's not drop it.
Let's see how
All
this
right.
goes.
Sorry to everybody in the front row. You can pull on it. It's okay.
Thank you guys so much for coming to San
yeah.
Francisco.
First off,
Awesome having you here.
What's your name?
Joel.
Joel, we need you to hold the mic a little bit closer so we can hear you, buddy.
All right. So with the league announcing that they're going to have 2 to potentially 4 new expansion teams, how do you guys feel about, I've heard different opinions on this, but how do you guys feel about what they'll do to the quality of the game as well as the overall impact of the game?
We were actually asked this last night on the Teal Town USA podcast, which you should all listen and subscribe to. Those are great people.
Yep.
I'll start here, and I'll just repeat the answer I gave last night. And Jesse, I'm going to let you repeat your part of the answer, which I thought was great, and I don't want to steal it. But when you're looking at expansion, the NHL's got a bit of a different job here, right? These, like it or not, San Jose 30 years ago, a lot of people would have thought it was crazy to put a team here. And it's worked out famously. It's been awesome. And, South Florida, Tampa, Dallas, places where non-traditional, whatever. We know hockey is on the rise, especially in the southern United States, and it's doing really, really well, and we're all very excited about that, right? I think that the talent level will rise to the amount of teams. And this idea, which has been pervasive for years, and I'm talking about an old fuddy-duddy market like Toronto, and it is.
Fuddy-duddy.
There's another word.
Harsh words.
There's several words for it, but we're in a public setting, and there could be children within earshot. There is a very dusty, angry journalist in Toronto who loves to claim that the NHL peaked in like 1992. And it's because the Sharks were here. No, I'm kidding. It's because...
You know what was great? The past.
Yeah. And it was like, well, we never got that level of play again, which I think is nuts. The players today, if you put Wayne Gretzky on the ice today, mid-'80s Wayne Gretzky, I don't know if he'd make the team. And I think
I grew up loving 90s hockey, but if you watch it now after watching a decade of this, it's a joke.
it's boring. It's slow. It doesn't move. And I think you've got athletes that are trained in a completely different way. I think you've got kids that grew up in the iPad generation watching highlight pads and
kids.
stuff. Hockey will be great when it's finished, but it's continually evolving. That's what's so exciting about it. And I think you are going to just have, and you got to think of it too. Like, okay, so you add 4 more teams. Let's just say it's like Houston, Atlanta, Kansas City. What's another market? Non-Canadian, because they're not adding another Canadian team. They're not.
You already said
Arizona. Exactly. Because the Coyotes will be back. We all know it. That's only 60 jobs or 80 jobs. Really.
I'd say it's closer to 100 just because you need extras.
But I look at that and I go, that's not that many people. We're acting like it's thousands of players that are going to be infused. We're just looking for the next 60 to 80 best players to join the league, or 100 in Steve's case. And at the end of the day, I think their players are out there.
Well,
they are.
One thing that we've leaned on for a long time, and I'm not sure I believe it anymore, the hardest thing to do in the NHL is score. Nope. I think there's a lot of NHL quality scorers out there. What they struggle with, and the reason they're not in the NHL, is their defense. So,
right.
When you talk about the delusion of talent, like let's say that does happen. Let's say the level of talent goes down. That's going to result in a more fun game, actually. I think it's going to result in more goals. And higher scoring games that maybe people who are like, 1992 was the best.
Yeah.
It's going to result in a game that they like.
I think
a guy
Alex Steves is like a prime example of what you're talking about. Like, there's a guy who, if there's more teams in the league,
Andrew Podorowski.
He's probably on an NHL roster, right? Yeah. Because his goal scoring is there. Maybe not the defense isn't there, but he could play on a third, fourth line somewhere.
Even going to the KHL, like a Josh Levo.
Yeah.
He scored over
Who's lighting it up.
40 goals in a league where you're a star if you get 20.
Yeah.
There's enough players out there to fill that.
You look at William Karlsson, when he went from the Blue Jackets and was claimed by the Golden Knights in the expansion draft, and then scores 40 goals, and everybody's like, where did this come from? It's opportunity.
Exactly.
He was given the opportunity. Marchessault, they paid to get rid of him.
The whole inaugural Golden Knights.
So I think it'll make for great opportunity. Now, Jesse, you made a really good point on Teal Town yesterday about the NHL in American markets versus the NBA and the MLB.
Yeah, the other leagues, the NFL has 32 American markets, MLB has 29, the NBA has 29, the NHL has 27. They 25. Sorry, I went the other way. 25.
I've never thought about it that way. That's so smart.
And they have room to grow in comparison to the other leagues, even though they have 32 teams. 7 of them are in Canada, and those markets aren't the same. It's not the American dollar. The population is a lot less. So the NHL needs to grow in America and get to that level that the other 4 leagues are at in the 30 number of American markets. So there's room for more NHL teams in America.
And they'll all be stateside, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. 100%. Next question here. What do we think? Who do you like? Whose face do you like?
Here, right up front.
Front row.
That makes it easy.
He looked at you very determinedly.
Yeah. All right. Your name?
I'm Drew.
Hi, Drew. Everybody say hi.
Hi, Drew.
Me and my mom flew in from Houston yesterday morning.
No way.
I think they're going to get all 4 expansions.
Yeah, that's great.
We're praying. We're praying for an expansion.
It's coming.
team.
It's coming very fast.
Also, thank you. It's just for us, right?
Oh, we booked this trip before y'all were coming.
Don't tell us that.
But no, we found out you were here, and then we're like, oh, this is amazing.
Bonus.
Double down. Let's go. So my question for you, biased aside, forget where you are. Who is winning a conference final first? San Jose or Toronto?
Oh, no.
Let's go based on experience, which is one cannot and the other we don't know. So I would say, just to kick this off, I would try the we don't know option at this point. But that's just me.
The Sharks.
No. Yeah. You really believe that, eh?
Yeah. You don't?
No, I do. But I just wanted to know that I wasn't crazy.
That's dark.
You know what? They couldn't get over okay, 2017, they're this young team. No, you're all sitting through this. I don't care. 2017, they're this young team. They finally make the playoffs. It's a really exciting series.
Oh, you're doing the whole.
Oh, you bet.
Oh, no, we don't have 20 minutes, Steve.
Steve, we have other people that have to ask.
I don't give a good gosh darn.
It's been 9 years. We get it.
They keep going, but what about this time? They get fooled by the regular season every year. A regular season that's kind of mid, actually. Oh, man, 100 points. And where'd they finish? They had a guy score 69 goals last year and finish third. You stink. And then the playoffs came, and they got even better. Who got even better? No, it'll be the Sharks. Don't you worry.
Jesse?
Sharks.
No?
Sharks,
No, you got to give us an
totally.
answer you believe in.
Sharks.
Sharks,
yeah.
okay.
No. Sharky's watching me a little close.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Now, heads up again. Okay, let's go Boston Bruins jersey, just because I want to know.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what do you?
Here's
what
my
do you,
question.
What do you want to know?
And it's a Bergeron.
Everybody's groaning here too. That's what kind of an effect Bergeron has.
Might have to squat down a
Yeah.
little.
What's your name?
My name's Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Drew.
First of all, I just want to say Bruins are getting McKenna.
Oh, Bruins are getting.
Bruins are getting Gavin McKenna?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be that bad.
I might move here.
Yeah.
They don't have to be that bad because the lottery balls could just fall their way, right? Like, yeah.
We're all set.
Oh, yeah, we're all sad.
Great,
Cool.
we're all sad now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys have advocated for a play-in for the playoffs. I just want to ask, because goalies can so easily steal series. How do you guys see, what do you think is a right number of games? Do you think it will ever happen, kind of thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it will happen. The NHL copies the NBA for good ideas all the time, and I think they should, right? The in-season tournament, I don't think the Four Nations is a mistake. It's something that they planned because they were like, oh, the NBA is doing an in-season tournament. It's okay. We can make it better and make it like a team, like a country's thing. And when you have 38, 40 teams one day, you're going to need it, right? You can't only have 16 teams still making
relegation.
Relegation. Stop it with that. That'll never happen.
I don't know. We got a lot of thumbs up.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. But I do think what you saw in the pandemic, which I know nobody wants to bring that up, but that play-in thing was sort of, I think, our best example of what that is, but I don't think it would be a 7-game series. I think a great play-in is a one and done. Because you get it done quickly, and people aren't getting injured. And
it's Game 7.
It's Game 7. Just go fast forward to Game 7. It's easy. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's the wild card games in the MLB have been genuinely so much fun. As a Jays fan.
Hey, remember being up 8-1? That was cool.
No.
Yeah.
The Giants here got 3 titles in 6 years? 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Oh, you guys.
It's 5, Jesse. It's 5.
It's ridiculous. Spoiled, all of you.
Yeah, spoiled.
Spoiled. Give me the one and done.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Okay. Yeah, you go ahead.
Right.
Front row.
Front row.
There you go.
Can't just pick people from the front
It's
row.
harder because they're looking at you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I don't
Scott Lawton.
I don't have my glasses on.
Just like Scott Lawton.
Hello,
was?
Stephen.
Everybody here's looking at you.
Yeah, but I can't see as well.
Yeah. Your name.
Hi there, I'm Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Everybody say hi, Chloe. Hi. All right.
Chloe.
So when the time comes, who do you think on the Sharks should get the next C, and why?
I think we all landed on Toffoli. Right?
Yeah, Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah.
Holy moly, Tyler Toffoli. Cup winner. It's funny. We've been doing this long enough. He is a dad. I was just about to say that. And I don't know if he literally is, but he has the energy. He's not a dad.
No.
He is now.
No, he's team dad. Team dad.
He's team dad.
Yeah.
Smith and Celebrini.
He's got Smith and Celebrini. And we've been doing this long enough now that all these young guys are now the team dad. And there's a certain something that you got to have. And I mean, what a competitor. You saw last night.
Cup winner.
He scored a goal with 0.7 seconds left off a face-off. once, which I know none of you look back on fondly on account of he did it with the Kings. Oh, wait, you guys do. And that was against the Bruins.
Ah, we like that.
Really enjoyed that. Droove. All right. But that was
poor Drew.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Poor Drew just sitting here trying to enjoy
He
the show.
knew what he was doing when he left the house. So I go with Toffoli.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
All right.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
And nothing against Mario Ferraro. I know he's been a big leader here for a long, long time. I just think you go with guy who's won the cup, guy who's seen so many deep runs and that sort of thing. That's who
Plays
I would go with.
hard, too.
Plays. Oh my God,
Yeah,
amazing.
Last one?
Last one. Okay. All right, Steve or Jesse, you pick this one because I can't handle not being liked.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you have the best jersey
Look
in
at
the
that
building.
Cuda jersey, everybody.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God.
incredible.
By the way, I want to
Holy
say
cow.
the Cuda jerseys that they put out are always great. Like this.
Oh my God.
The custom jersey and everything.
Oh my God, dude.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, so my name is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hello. So I know I spend a lot of time online and see a lot of. I know it's terrible. And so there's a lot of debate happening amongst hockey fans online about how the Calder race is going to go.
Yeah.
Obviously Celebrini is way up there because he's amazing. Completely unbiased here. He's amazing. Lane Hudson is also a very good player, and I've also seen a fair amount of noise about Wolf from Calgary. I'm really interested how you three think that's going to go.
We talked about this on Teal Town USA yesterday. Like, over half of the time, I think Macklin Celebrini's performance this season would be good enough to get him the Calder. He's got Joseph Wolf, Dustin Wolf, who could, honest to goodness, win the Hart, or well, not win the Hart, but get Hart votes. Like, how often do you see a rookie starting goaltender drag the Flames don't do anything. They don't score.
They don't defend.
Nothing.
They don't do anything. It's crazy.
Their special teams stink, if I remember correct. Like, it's a miracle they're even in the conversation for a playoff spot. Lane Hudson has 50 assists as a defenseman. What a mutant, right? So I would love to be like Calder Brini, right? Yeah! I would love to do that. To me, it's Lane or Dustin. I always defer to the goalie because I love them.
It's also like
I'd probably say Wolf.
It's
but
the most important position in the game, right?
Yeah.
It's goalies are like air. You're not thinking about them unless you don't have any.
Yeah.
And it's
wow.
Like that's sort of it's sort of one of those things. And also, let's be honest. If we like Dustin Wolf, where's he from? Gilroy, California. That's right.
Yeah.
So that can feel good, right?
And just to emphasize the point, the Calgary Flames sit 31st in goals for per game. It's not good. They don't score any goals, but somehow they're in a playoff race because they have great goaltending, and that's it.
Yep.
Their penalty kill is not even great. They're like mid in power play. They just have great goaltending, and I think that should be rewarded with the Calder, because they're going to get really close to that playoff spot. If they're in last in the league and he was just standing on his head, it wouldn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But because he's made them into a competitive team just by himself, I think that's Calder worthy.
It's going to be great when he's a free agent and he's like, I'm coming home, isn't it?
Wolf Askarov?
Yeah, Wolf Askarov. Yeah, I like that.
Askarov could use the backup, right?
yeah, totally.
I also think I do want to point one thing out. Celebrini did miss 11 games. And the fact that he's done what he has with the games, missing that much, that's a lot.
It's very, but they don't grade on a curve.
Right.
We learned that when they gave 30-year-old Artemi Panarin the Calder over Connor McDavid. Yeah. It was closer to 35.
He was 24, wasn't he?
24.
20. Yeah. That's a big difference. So anyway, listen, guys.
Was there any info you had to get out about the stuff that was going on?
So I did it at the beginning, but I'll do it at the end. Tonight, Barracuda, Abbotsford. Boo, Abbotsford. Am I right? That's right. We 6:30 to 7:15. We're going to be at the 200 level, 216, 217 performance deck. Come hang out with us. We're going to do a little meet and greet beforehand, and then we're going to watch the game from the stands. I just want to say, and I know these guys back me up on this. Thank you so much for being here. It's the middle afternoon on a Friday, and you're here, and we so appreciate it. Very cool experience. And also, Ryan, who's sitting over there. Big shout out to Ryan from the Barracuda. There have been a few people behind the scenes at the Sharks organization, too, that have been amazing. We're going to thank them as well over and over and over again. But Joe last night, who did our meet and greet. Joe.
His name's Jim. Yeah, it's not.
I called him Joe, and then Jesse's like, hey, it's Jim. And I'm really bad.
And then you did it again.
Yeah. But he was amazing to us. Absolutely incredible. We've been very, very blessed, and you guys have been so good to us, too. So thank you so much.
Don't forget Gary, who runs security.
Yeah. Oh, Gary, who runs security? Yeah, Gary was also.
That man is thorough.
He was thorough. We love Gary. Anyway, thanks, guys, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.